Value, one word that can make or break your entire life. But how do we define value? What makes one man valuable while others have very little? And the answer is principles or standards of behavior. True value comes from within. Not what others think of a man, but what he thinks of himself. As soon as you find value from within yourself, as soon as you raise your standards, as soon as you raise your principles, only then will other people begin to see you as a high value man. And all of this starts with one simple rule. One rule that, if we do our best to follow, can dramatically increase how we view ourselves and shortly after how other people view us. Something that you have to understand is that people are always judging other people. And when I say judging, I mean other people, when they see and interact with us, are making quick conclusions about our character and what type of person we are. And we are constantly doing the same thing to them. This is our instinctive nature, and it helps to ensure our survival. If you're walking through a dark parking lot at night and you see a guy wearing all black who is walking towards you and looks like he's gonna rob you or something via his body language, what do? Obviously, you make a snap judgment and prepare yourself to either fight him off or to run away. Imagine if you just sat there and said to yourself, you know what? Even though this guy looks really crazy and he's walking like he's going to pull out a weapon on me, I'm just gonna act like he's perfectly harmless and just kind of do my own thing. Now, you could do this, and he might very well be harmless, but if your instincts or gut is telling you that he's going to rob you and you ignore this, then the consequences might just cost you your life, or at the very least, your wallet. It is in our nature to quickly judge other people because it is built into our survival system, and we simply can't help doing it. But there's a dark side to people judging other people, and something that is tied into all this is called peer pressure. Think about all your buddies who are egging you on to throw a rock off of a highway overpass after you've all had a few too many drinks. This is peer pressure. So do you give in and throw the rock, or do you walk your own path? The one rule that high value men always follow is one that most men learn far too late, when they're in their 40s, 50s, or even 60s. In psychology, there's something called the herd mentality. And the people within a herd tend to believe and behave the same way as everybody else who is in that same group. Now, throughout life, we will come across many points where there is a fork in the road or several paths that we can take. However, in life, there are really only two paths, and one of them increases your value every time that you take it, while the other decreases it. One of the major points in life for most men is the time that we leave high school. On one hand, we have the things that we want to do, the career path that we believe in, or the things that make us happy. And on the other hand, we have a path chosen by our parents or by our friends or by somebody else that we know. So the real question here is, which one do we take? When we look around, we see that many of our buddies are getting jobs at the local Walmart. But in our head, this doesn't really seem right. Instinctively, we know that there is far more to life than getting yelled at by a manager who hates his job just as much as we do and bringing in shopping carts from outside in the rain. And we don't always know exactly what we want to do, but we know that we definitely don't want to do that. But at the same time, we don't want to upset all of our buddies who seem to be happy answering phones and stocking shelves. So if you choose to follow what your friends want you to do, then this is an example of peer pressure. This is the herd mentality. This is the path of low value. Following the one rule that you know deep down will increase your value is so freaking hard because of peer pressure. It is so hard to follow this rule because we are constantly bombarded by the opinions of others, and oftentimes it is those who are closest to us or those who we count on the most, who seem to want nothing but the best for us, who end up doing us the most harm. Because few men are able to walk their own path. Few men, when faced with the proverbial fork in the road, are unable to resist the temptation to give in to peer pressure, or to give in to what other people want them to do, or to give in to how other people want them to behave. So they follow the herd, or what everyone else is doing, or what their parents want them to do, or what their friends want them to do. And they take college classes to become a doctor because that's what their parents wanted, only to realize after 10 years of schooling and hundreds of thousands of dollars in medical school that being a doctor is never what they truly wanted to do. Going out there and hooking up with hundreds of different girls until they're 50 years old is never what they really wanted to do, but all of their friends were doing it, so they did it too. They gave in, and at the same time they gave up. And what they gave up was their own value in the process of doing this. Men who live by a set of principles and standards, or men of value, carve out their own path in life. They live life on their own terms and by their own rules, and while they do seek advice from others, at the end of the day, when there is a fork in the road, they ultimately walk their own path and they make their own decisions. Never let peer pressure or the opinions of others, no matter how powerful these opinions are or who they come from, determine your path in life. One rule that high value men always follow is walking their own path. And with that said, until next time, thank you so much for watching.